From a humpback whale ditched by his friends in crocodile-infested waters to an elephant mafia, here are 10 animals that are serious jerks to other animals. Number 10. Ditching friends. A humpback whale recently got into some trouble when it was ditched by its jerk friends and abandoned to deal with a whole lot of angry crocodiles. This happened in Australia's Northern Territory, and it's the first time that a humpback whale ever swam the wrong way and ended up in the Australian river filled with crocs. The stranded whale was in a group of 3 friends spotted by researchers that were swimming through the East Alligator River. This river connects Kakadu National Park with the sea, and it's notoriously murky and dangerous. There are at least 100 miles that are ripe with hungry crocodiles who sit patiently, waiting to ambush anything tasty looking that gets too close. But here's where the jerk whales come in. The humpback whales were obviously a little lost, and 2 of them realised it. 2 of the whales made a U-turn and headed back to sea, but they left their friend behind. The lone whale continued swimming for miles and miles, completely lost without its friends. This is obviously atrocious behaviour for humpback whales, and if not for the fact that the whale was estimated to be about 52 feet in length, it probably would have ended up being dinner for the crocodiles. Of course, since the whale was in uncharted waters, it could have also gotten stranded on a shallow shore where the crocodiles certainly would have picked it apart. In the end, marine biology experts had to get together to save the whale themselves since it was abandoned by its mean friends. Let this be a lesson not to hang out with humpback whales, they might leave you behind. Number 9. Bully mountain lion. Mountain lions are some of the biggest jerks ever, especially if you're a dog. When a man named Kirk Fetter left his puppy alone outside in Eldorado County, it became the ideal victim for a local terrorizing mountain lion. Kirk was asleep inside when he heard the ruckus and actually had to run outside in nothing but his underwear in order to save his poor dog from the cruel grip of the mountain lion. The dog's name was Tiki, and she was in mortal danger because of the big and ferocious cat. By the time Kirk bust out of the house and saw what was going on, the mountain lion had Tiki's entire head in its mouth, ready to deliver the killing crunch. But thinking fast, Kirk raced to the dog's rescue, scared the mountain lion away, and went quickly to his dog to make sure she was okay. In the end, Tiki had a few small puncture wounds on her head and a light cut on her stomach, but she would survive. Because this happened in a rural town, Kirk had to wait until the morning to take his dog to the vet, but she made a full recovery. And from now on, Tiki probably won't be sleeping on the balcony by herself. Have you ever had any scary experience with a wild animal? What did you do? What happened? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more videos coming up. Number 8. The cowbird. It's hard to imagine a bigger jerk of a bird than the cowbird. But unlike other birds that are jerks to humans like magpies and seagulls, cowbirds are jerks to other birds. They are something known as a brood parasite, and they have a very nasty habit of laying their eggs inside the nests of other bird species. This may just sound like neighbourly behaviour, but it's actually quite rude. The female cowbird watches other birds in the area, just waiting until one of them lays their eggs. The female cowbird then stalks that bird's nest until the bird leaves to take care of some other bird business. The cowbird then sneaks in and lays her own eggs in the other bird's nest. And here's where things get absolutely insane. Some birds have evolved the ability to recognise when a cowbird has placed her parasitic eggs on their nest, and they can reject the cowbird eggs by shoving them out of the nest so that they break on the forest floor below. But it's not always so easy. When a cowbird lays her eggs in another bird's nest, that bird doesn't really have any choice but to care for the eggs itself. This is because if the bird recognises the parasitic eggs and pushes them out of the nest, the cowbird will come back and destroy that bird's eggs in a harsh display of revenge. The cowbird is spiteful, mean, and downright lazy when it comes to their eggs. Number 7. Rude scavengers. Coyotes are scavengers. In fact, coyotes scavenge more than they actually kill, and they're not always very friendly about it. Coyotes are often considered to be opportunistic omnivores, meaning they eat pretty much anything that comes their way. What's really interesting is that a new study of coyote behaviour from New York State has found that only about 8% of deer carcasses that have been touched by coyotes have actually been killed by the animals themselves, with the remaining 92% of all adult dead deer being scavenged by coyotes after they were killed by a vehicle or some other kind of injury. Basically, coyotes scavenge as much as they possibly can and don't really do all the work stalking and hunting involves. But here's why coyotes are huge jerks. They have been known to steal food from smaller and weaker animals. If there is food to scavenge, you can bet the coyotes are going to be there to steal it. These aren't the biggest predators in the world, being slimmer and smaller than wolves, but they are definitely wily. Coyotes are also huge jerks to sheep and other livestock, as they frequently sneak their way underneath fences and into enclosed pens, when they then feast on the defenseless sheep who have nowhere to run. After all, you've probably heard the term coyote in a henhouse. This should say enough about just how rude coyotes can be to other animals. Number 6. Dog sticks up for human. A man in a small village in India was recently attacked by 3 lions and then saved by his pet dog, proving once again that dogs truly are man's best friend. This happened in Ambadi village, where apparently a local shepherd had been grazing his sheep when 3 lions appeared out of nowhere and decided that the sheep were easy prey, as we all know how big of jerks lions are to basically every other animal around. The sheep herder jumped into action and tried to save his sheep from the giant cats, but ended up needing a bit of saving himself. The dog began barking like crazy, which helped alert the nearby village people that something was going on. Within just a few seconds, so many people had come and gathered around the man, who was by the way still being attacked by the lions, and the big cats were forced to flee. It was a miracle that the man only suffered a few minor scratches on his arm. The dog didn't get hurt at all, and only about 3 sheep were lost during the attack. The lesson here is that lions are the kings of the jungle, and they think they can be jerks to whoever they want. Number 5. The wild boar crisis. It should come as absolutely no surprise that pigs are huge jerks. Pigs are stinky, ill-tempered, and incredibly intelligent. Perhaps that explains why there is supposedly a wild boar crisis unfolding right now in Canada. This is happening in the western provinces, where some people are saying that wild boars have begun wreaking havoc on the ecosystem and the indigenous animals. According to CBC News, this is happening primarily in Saskatchewan. There have been reports that wild boars escaped from farms in Alberta and are now the dominant animal species found throughout the prairies, and this is dangerous for many reasons. They have allegedly spread like wildfire and are at risk of causing at least $400 million in damages to farmland. Wild boars are also jerks to other animals. They have no problem killing the local species when they get in their way, ravaging other animals' natural habitats, and even sometimes charging at humans. Before anyone knows it, a bunch of rude wild boars will have taken over all of Western Canada. Number 4. Gulls are thieves. Seagulls are major jerks for one reason. They are straight up thieves. They have one animal in particular they really love to bully. Seagulls terrorize and steal food straight out of the mouths of pelicans. This is a shame because pelicans are very hard-working animals, and like most animals in the world, pelicans aren't really into sharing. But do seagulls care? No! Pelicans hunt by swimming in the water and scooping up fish wherever they can find them. They've gotten pretty good at it throughout the years, and seagulls use their proficiency at hunting to their advantage. Seagulls will actually soar above the water where pelicans are stationed, and the moment that the pelican hurls its massive body into the water and scoops a fish into its mouth, the seagull will swoop down and literally snatch the fish straight out of the pelican's face. Either that, or the seagull will watch the pelican until it messes up and makes a wrong move. If the pelican falters even a little bit and drops the fish into the water, the seagull will also come soaring down to scoop it out of the water before the pelican can recover it. This is why seagulls are often referred to as pirates of the seashore. They are rampant thieves, both on the east coast and on the west coast. And it's not just pelicans they steal from. If a seagull sees something it can eat, it will come flying down to steal it from anybody and everybody. Number 3. Monkey bullies. Monkeys are hardcore bullies. But what's really crazy about monkeys is that they actually bully each other. Monkeys are inherently jerks, and when it comes to a large group of them, they can often smell weakness just like kids on the playground, and they will bully their fellow monkeys endlessly. There is no better example of this than a story from 2008 when a monkey that was orphaned by the Jiaozhou City Zoo in China was bullied by other jerk monkeys so badly that the zoo had to give him a guard dog to keep the other rude animals away. In fact, the entire troop of monkeys hated the orphan so fiercely that if not for his guard dog, the zoo was scared that he would have been torn apart. According to a spokesman from the zoo, each time the orphaned monkey sensed that he was in danger, he would jump onto the back of the dog and hold on tight, while the dog would actually run up to the group of jerk monkeys and bark at them until they ran away. As you can imagine, this seriously disrupted the hierarchy of the monkeys. Some of the highest-ranking monkeys in the organisation tried to get revenge by organising ambushes, but all of their ambushes failed because the dog would simply get loud and scare them away. It was an enormous soap opera unfolding at the zoo, and so far as we can gather, the monkey and the dog actually became best friends. Number 2. Elephant Mafia. There's no easy way to say it. Elephants are thugs, bullies, and very rude jerks. Specifically, elephants are thugs at the watering hole. Watering holes are supposed to be places where all the animals can come together to drink in peace. Hippos cool off in the water, crocodiles snatch a quick meal if something tasty gets too close, and elephants can quench their thirst. But according to researchers from the National Centre for Scientific Research from France, who recorded the comings and goings of elephants at the Hwang National Park in Zimbabwe, elephants run a kind of mafia at the watering hole. The team noted that herbivore species, such as buffalo and zebra, actually increase their drinking time on average by about 2 minutes when elephants are present at the watering hole. This could be for any number of reasons. Researchers suggest that the animals spend extra time drinking because they have to keep their eyes on the elephants, since they have a tendency to be spontaneously violent and unpredictable. Another theory is that the herbivores actually feel safer from predators when elephants are around because lions and other carnivores simply don't mess with the elephants. As of right now, nobody is entirely sure what the data means, but the general consensus is that elephants are a force to be reckoned with, and everyone treads a little lighter when they are around. Number 1. Another rude mountain lion. We've already talked a little bit today about how rude mountain lions can be, but this next story is about the bravery of a dog, the predatory nature of a large cat, and the poor Chihuahua-Dachshund mix that lost an eye during an epic battle. According to the report in People magazine, this all went down in Colorado when Miho and Winston slipped out of the house through an open doorway like a couple of sneaky teenagers. But the dogs got a lot more than they bargained for when a massive mountain lion pounced on Miho, the Chihuahua-Dachshund mix, and had his teeth wrapped around the poor dog's head. I don't think I need to tell you that this is a jerk move. And Winston wasn't standing for it. Even though Winston was only slightly larger than Miho, he charged at the mountain lion with all he had, barking and barking until the mountain lion got so scared that it dropped Miho and ran away. 15-year-old Miho was rushed to the animal hospital where he unfortunately lost his right eye. But if it hadn't been for Winston, Miho would have been dinner for the very rude lion. Thanks for watching. Have you ever witnessed animals being rude? Let me know about it in the comments below, and be sure to hit subscribe for all the latest animal videos. What's the worst thing any animal has ever done to you? What's the jerkiest thing any animal has ever done to you?